Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mariana and today I'm bringing to you the March plan with me. For this month, I chose tiles as a theme because I got inspired by the Portuguese antique tiles and the Andalusian tile work. And as you know, I don't plan these themes ahead, so you are going to see all of my process step by step. I promise I will try to keep it very minimal and easy to recreate. So let's get started. For March, I decided to create an easy and low resources theme. For this month, I simply wanted to use my stem. Because the pattern in it reminded me of the antique Portuguese tiles, I bought the pigment ink pad in the color royal blue. To guide my creation process, I picked up my Andalusian tile workbook to use as a reference. When I started creating the cover page, my first attempt didn't work out. Once I started to put my idea onto the paper, I noticed that it wouldn't look good. So I tried to fix it by using whiteout tape, but then I got afraid of the marker smooshing. To prevent that from happening, I went to the back pocket of my bullet journal where I had saved a piece of paper that I had cut out when I set up the first early pages. And because there is no 2 without 3, I messed up the calculation of the stamp dimensions. This time, my mistake only could be solved by gluing these 2 pages and start fresh. For the cover page, I end up deciding on creating 2 sets of tiles, having the motif repeating over and over. For each tile, I used 9 squares for the height and 8 for the width. The border around the tile sets are 1 by 1. For the border, I painted it with my Carioca Joy marker, which matched with the royal blue from my ink pad. To create a 3D effect, I used my Tombow Dual Brush Pen in the color 553, which is a pale blue. To complete my cover page, I decided to use my paper ink printer to print out the word March on sticker paper. Let's say that on this day I made plenty of unfixable mistakes. Therefore, the calendar page also went through a long process to get to the final result. I planned in using these metallic washi tapes from Flying Tiger, but the blues on them didn't complement the royal blue dominating this month's theme. Initially, I removed the tape and used the karaoke marker to add color onto the headings for the days of the week. Unfortunately, I felt that the page was not interesting, so I restarted the process once I glued these pages. Clearly, this day didn't go smoothly. For my final calendar, I used my Muji gel pen on the size 0.5 to draw my 6x6 calendar. For the tiles decoration, I simply replicated the dimensions of the cover page. For this entire theme, I used my paper rank to print all the words for this setup. But you can also do it by printing the words that you need in a regular home printer, cut the words and then glue them. Another option is to buy sticker sheets that already come with days of the week, the months, and even numbers. You can easily find them on AliExpress and on Etsy. From this point onwards, my spreads took shape with ease. Just kidding. There are some more bumps on the road. For my mood tracker, I decided to make another tile set. I started by drawing some shapes in some squares and filled the rest with the stump motif. For my habit tracker, I created mini calendars of the current month. Because I messed up one of the mini calendars, I covered it up with the page's title. For the first weekly spread, I made a single tile on the top of the page and next to it a reference calendar. These two squares are 11 in height and 12 in width. The days of the week follow the same width, while the spacing for each day was 8 squares downwards. For week 2, I replicated the same dimensions as week 1, adding 1 square spacing on the top as a day divider. I wrote in both weeks the numbers in dark blue, but on week 1 it looked odd, likely due to the placement. So I covered it up with the dark blue and wrote the number with my Sakura Jelly Roll pen in the size 10. Once the white pen dried, I went back for a second layer so the whites would pop. For week 3, I made a super easy layout following the space of the motifs that I had placed in between pages. Remember that you can use a single stamp to do this or multiple ones. You can also add more color to your own theme. Guess what? My silly person managed to mess up the numbers. At least this time was easy fix. For week 5 and 4, I replicated the same dimensions from the other tile sets. I particularly liked how week 5 turned out. Week 4 also ended up looking interesting. Which one was your favorite spread? Leave me a comment below. And here it is, the final flip through of this month's tiles theme. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing it and supporting me to grow in this community. I hope you like to see the step-by-step of the creation of this theme. So have a lovely week and a lovely month ahead. Until next time, bye!